Welcome, everyone, to the Food Institute's podcast, Food for Thought Leadership. I am so thrilled to be joined with a very special guest, Dr. Deepali Palta. She is the Vice President of Global R&D, Innovation, and Sustainability at Kellanova. So we have a lot to unpack with that title alone, Deepali. So tell us first about your role at Kellanova for those of us who might not be fluent in R&D.
Sure. I'm going to take one step back to let you know about my journey, and then we'll get to Kellanova. So after graduating from Georgia Tech with a PhD in Material Science and Engineering, I've actually been deeply immersed in the foods R&D world for about 17 years. And in those years, I've had the pleasure of global and region assignments that I've been able to sort of have as critical experiences across US, UK, and Africa. In my current role, like you said, I lead global R&D, innovation, and sustainability at Kellanova, and I'm based in Chicago. So I will unpack the role as well as to what the team does. But before that, for any of the listeners who may not know Kellanova yet, let me just share a little bit of background. Until late 2023, we were all known as Kellogg Company. That's when we spun off our North American cereal business into a separate company. So Kellanova, as it stands now, is a leading snacking company, including brands like Pringles, Cheez-It, Pop-Tart, Morningstar, and of course our international cereal as well. So back to my role. Together with our team and partners in this role, we focus on accelerating top line, bottom line, and advancing our sustainability agenda, which is where innovation and sustainability come together. Now we do that across ingredients, product, process, and packaging, all enabled by science and technology. So for example, global expansion of core brands, or reimagining the next generation of Pringles, or delivering on our sustainable packaging commitments, all of that is part of our scope for the team.
So not a huge role at all. You have been, I can't wait to unpack more of that in this conversation. We're going to talk a lot about innovation and can't wait to pick your brain. You've been in the CPG world for about 2 decades now. So what inspired you to work in this particular industry?
It's special to work in CPG, especially food. It's incredibly fulfilling. Food brings me joy, and there's nothing more foundational to well-being than maybe what we eat and how it's grown. So I find joy in sort of sharing that know-how and hopefully helping find people joy in what we make. So this ability to see that direct impact of our innovation on consumers live and receive instant feedback, whether you like it or not, sometimes it gets personal. It is both rewarding and motivating, I must say. So in this role, I get to take the science and technology and the goodness of it and create hopefully something delicious and sustainable. I love the opportunity to shape the future of food in the role, and helps me have a deeper sense of purpose in what I do.
So let's dive into that science and technology bit of things. So how do you view innovation and the role of science and technology within it?
Innovation to me is solving a problem at very core of it. Now, there are many problems you can solve and everybody has ideas. Now, what idea or what opportunity you go for, that's where, for me, rubber hits the road. So I ended up coining a simple acronym that's a framework for us to evaluate opportunities that are worth pursuing. It's called CBT, not to be confused with CBD. So C is consumer, B is business, and then T is the technology. And the placement of this CBT is intentional in that order in the sequence, because we've got to start with the consumer. First lens is what purpose of any of these ideas and opportunities, what is it going to do for the consumer? How does it fit into their life? Do they care or will they care? We are all consumers, so sometimes it's really helpful to objectively think about our own innovation or our own creations as a consumer, and quite frankly allow for creative friction and devil's advocacy in our own meetings. That comes in handy. So that's the C part. Now the second piece of it is the B, which is the business. Now that's our bread and butter. We know that, whether it's top line or bottom line or our relentless focus to grow, especially new categories, channels, or segments. This is equally important, of course. What does the idea contribute to? Even if at the very onset you don't have all the calculations, we still require our teams to have a back of the envelope simple calculation and have a lens to why this is going to matter for our business, especially because our team has the pleasure of sitting within our global growth office. So we think about growth all the time. Now comes the T, which is the last part, but being an R&D professional myself, I like it. This is the lens that gives us the right to succeed in terms of the technology readiness. While cool science always excites me, I think the purposefulness of technology to solve a consumer and a business problem is what makes it real. It's really having a solution to a problem instead of just starting with the technology or the science foot first. So for me, the intersection of CBT, consumer, business, and technology coming together does help deliver on an opportunity.
I love that. And can you give us an example of how Kellanova is driving growth and business impact and the role your team
Sure.
has played in it?
Many examples across the many wonderful brands we have. One of my personal favorites is Cheez-It, so I'm gonna go there. It's our flagship brand. I think in North America, most people, if not familiar with the Cheez-It baked cracker, which has this um, goodness of baked cracker and real cheese in it, which I love, and I'm very lucky that a lot of people with me love that as well. So when you look at that portfolio, we knew that there was an opportunity to take Cheez-It cracker across the world as well, across the globe. But now, initially, we were considering, hey, let's take the cracker we've got in North America and it's doing well and lift and shift that to Europe. But that's where the C came in handy. And we recognized that the flavored baked cracker was sort of an unfamiliar and new territory to the mainstream UK consumers that we were trying to go after, UK being our first launch country that we were targeting. So that direct transfer would have been risky. So I think that's where our research showed that instead of taking the core cracker, if we took what's Cheez-It Snap, if you don't know that, that sort of bridges the gap between the cracker and the chip. So this is a crisp. It's a delicious product as well. That now resonated very strongly with our UK consumers. So we pivoted. So my team, in collaboration with our European partner, especially R&D teams, we reimagined the product, adapting the technology, taste profile, and making sure it's regulatory compliant for the regions we were going into. We officially launched Cheez-It last year, and it's continuing to grow in other European countries and hopefully Asia on the horizon.
You talked about partnerships earlier. What is the secret to mobilizing cross functional global teams to deliver complex innovations at scale within Kellanova? Any tips?
Yeah, great question. and, and hard to do, takes time. If you think about big bets, especially in technology or science to go after that are solving a consumer and a business problem, you've cracked the code on the CBT, you're excited about developing a technology, but do you have all your partners aligned, especially the technology partners in the company, say global engineering, global supply chain? Are we all thinking about those big bets the same way or not? This is where we ended up creating a unified governance model, which actually brings together our global supply chain, our procurement, our global engineering and R&D from the onset and saying we should have one technology big bet agenda for all of us. That way we can maximize our resourcing, we can maximize our effort, and we can be more unified in what we do. And what this forum allows us to do is to assess economic viability at scale from day one. That's the B part of it. Think about the consumer problem to solve, or at least an insight we are hinging on to. Sometimes a lot of them are not very clear, but like I said, back of the envelope is needed. And then align global priorities to support our growth. This has really helped us break silos even more and scale our biggest bets. So, for example, currently we are reimagining the design of Pringles together. That's all I can say.
Any other sneak peeks around Pringles? We love Pringles.
More to come.
Any,
More to
yeah.
come.
It is a challenging initiative, though, when you're, you have all these innovation opportunities and you're trying to kind of streamline them across food, processing, packaging. Are there any outstanding challenges that you're currently up against right now with that you could maybe touch upon?
Sure. Look, the innovation and science combined together are amazing because it just never stops. That world of thinking and churning never stops, and we're obsessed with it. But when we are building, 3, 5, 10 year out pipelines, we can't do it alone. We need partnerships, not just internal, but external as well. So maybe some challenges to put out to anyone who might be listening and think they might have a solve. Since our team works across the gamut of ingredients all the way to packaging, so maybe a few areas. One would be maximizing ingredient versatility for today and tomorrow. On a product level, how do we continue to elevate taste and texture experiences to continue creating that consumer delight? Process, always looking for next gen process technologies, including sort of that late stage differentiation. And for packaging, future proofing and unlocking growth either through packaging format innovation or sustainability or any other material unlock somebody might have. So, hey, if you're listening in and you think you've got a solution in mind, let's talk, let's connect.
I love that. Open forum. I'm curious, is there any brand in particular in Kellanova's portfolio that's like the golden child, like the one that gets all the attention that people love the most?
They're all our children. Every child is equally beautiful, Rebecca.
Amazing. We can't talk about innovation without touching upon AI and digitization of everything. So let's chat about what Kellanova's approach has been through this AI firestorm, if you will.
Sure. We've been on our own digital journey for years, as most of our peers have been as well. And I really like our approach. It's a better data, bigger possibilities framework. And it's built on these principles of transparency, accountability, and collaboration, ensuring that our colleagues also have a comprehensive approach towards driving value from data. Ultimately, we aim to leverage our data combined with analytics and human intuition. I don't think data is there yet or AI is there yet that you could do it without a human. But productivity is huge and gaining our deeper understanding of customer and consumers' evolving needs and desires. So even for our AI, I'm happy to say the CBT still works and translates. It starts with CBT in a way to better understand our consumers, their pain points, preferences, which is where a lot of the tools in the market today already available can help you predict trends, emerging, mature, or even fading away trends. Or think about what are people purchasing. There are so many different problems you already have answers to, but just marrying that right problem with the right business growth opportunity we've got, which is where the B comes in. And then, of course, we've got different technologies and softwares available at different maturity levels in the market right now. So part of it is sort of evaluating what is the CB need and what technology enables or solves that. Want to make sure that we are really clear in delivering our value and clear in our C and B. So, for example, we've got AI helping us with understanding shifting consumer preferences, optimizing our supply chain, improving our quality, and even enhancing our employee experience with things like Microsoft Copilot and helping us be more effective and efficient.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how are you approaching as a leader internal team training around AI? Is Kellanova sponsoring workshops or webinars or things like that? Just because it is still so abstract, and there is this push for even giant corporations, obviously, to really educate not only consumers but their own personnel on AI and how best to leverage it.
100%. Our IT team is phenomenal. We should have them talk with you too as a part two of this. They are doing a phenomenal job in making sure that, one, not only are they upskilling us and making us digitally literate before we can be digitally fluent, if you will, But they are also helping establish what's called an AI Advisory Council, which is a cross functional responsible AI usage. This is a council that evaluates proposed use cases in line with developing governance, closely following developing laws, regulations, and frameworks pertaining to data privacy, ethical AI, complying with our current laws and regulations regarding data, and also ensuring our partners throughout the value chain do the same. It's an emerging field, so we want to make sure that we are being responsible in how we leverage this for business.
I love that. It is still a bit of the Wild West out there with AI.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, speaking of futuristic topics, to the next 5 to 10 years, what are you most optimistic about when it comes to the future of food innovation?
I'll start with digital AI, that since we were just talking about that. The power of digital and AI gets me energized, especially in front-end innovation, where data-driven insights can unlock entirely new possibilities. Technology is continue to be, Technology is going to continue to be a catalyst for how we innovate, how we manufacture, and connect with consumers. So we've got to continue to harness that, not just to stay relevant, but also to be visionary. So we'll continue to do that. So technology, be it in science field or digital and AI, both are super exciting. Second, that excites me is this positive feedback to loop between innovation and sustainability. Innovation drives sustainable solutions, and sustainability is increasingly becoming a core driver of innovation as well. So I love that we're evolving from viewing sustainability as a nice to have or something I have to do to a non negotiable expectation. I aspire to be in a world where my title is shorter and it just says global R&D or global R&D innovation, because I think innovation, a few years down the line, I dream of the world where innovation is just sustainable innovation and they're not seen as separate. So those two really excite me. And the last one I'll say is this power of connection with you, with anyone who'd be listening into this, because we cannot do it alone. So building the future of food through collaboration, new thinking, and a shared purpose is super cool and energizing.
Finally, I do want to touch upon your, on a personal note, your leadership style. And this is one of my favorite questions. So, what is your journey? First, let's unpack your leadership style. How do you describe that?
Rooted in purpose. And I came to realize that I was leading through my values. And my three core values are curiosity, courage, and connection. Curiosity is something that drives me to ask bold questions and sometimes stupid questions. It's okay. Courage, it pushes me to turn those questions into action, and in connection, because we can't do it alone. And hopefully, that idea or the spark that we courageously take becomes a shared fire. So the triple C, curiosity, courage, and connection, I find that every decision I make, every risk I take is filtered through these values. Every role I take is filtered through, and sort of these values are reflected in how that role shapes up to be for me. And I think as we grow up, we start to recognize that leadership isn't really about driving just the results, but it's about creating that space for new ideas, for lifting others up, and staying curious, and even when things get tough. I remember feeling invisible earlier, very, very early on in my career, when your ideas are overlooked, and that belief in yourself hasn't developed yet, especially because I came from polymers and material science and I had nothing to do with food. Uh, I felt that my voice was unheard. So now that all the mentors and guides have helped me get here and be confident in my own ability and the value add I bring, I've made it my mission to make sure that I'm planting those seeds of confidence in others and holding space for their story, actually.
What does your leadership journey look like in the next 5 years?
I think in the long run, one of my goals is to eventually step into the lead role for R&D. Excited by the idea of shaping what the future of food could look like, how we eat, how we care for the planet, how we make titles shorter, and the innovation is just sustainable, how we connect through our shared experiences. But for now, focused on learning, stretching myself, and saying yes to opportunities that help me grow.
I love that. And curiosity will definitely serve you well in that. Thank you so much, Deepali. I really appreciate your time. Look forward to continuing the conversation and, of course, following all this incredible R&D happening at Kellanova. Thank you for helping to shape the future of food as we know it.
Thank you, Rebecca. It was a pleasure.